as those boomers time out, there's going to be this massive transfer of wealth, what as low as 30 trillion, as high as 70. Someone said to me yesterday at an event in Houston, and that's a massive number. What do you, based on where the market is right now, which is at an all-time high, and can you give us a little description of why that is, and then what you think is going to happen as a result of the shift in that wealth? Will it stay in the right places? Or I know Jordy's got a couple questions for you here in a second about gold and Bitcoin and how, like you said, what is the future of the next generation going to look like from investment, from spending, and then also from saving? How is that all going to look like in your mind? That was a lot.
Yeah, well, when you think about how it's like happening, right, it is basically, it used to be like we just did the jobs that our parents did, right? So if my dad is a baker, I'm going to be a baker. If my dad makes, the barrels, right? That's what the last name Cooper comes from. I'm a Cooper, right? I make the barrels. Up till to current day, it's right. I'm a veterinarian because my dad was a veterinarian, or my dad had an orthodontic practice. So then I went to school to be an orthodontist. What's kind of happened recently, and I think social media is a big part of this, I think there's a whole host of things happening, is that basically nobody wants to continue on the family business anymore, right? Statistically, a small amount of people do. And so you have these older people that are retiring. They want to pass on their kids, but their kids aren't really interested. And so instead, what they do is they go and sell it to a private equity firm. Mm-hmm. And this is happening in basically every industry, Dave. Like, I talked to my barber recently. Okay, my barber went independent, and now he's just working out of it like his own little studio or whatever that he rents. But he's like, yeah, that barbershop I was working out of, they got bought by private equity, right? So private equity is buying barbershops now. Oh my God. And basically, it's good right now in the sense that it makes the economy a little bit more resilient because, hey, that baby boomer that retired just got paid a bunch of money, right? And by the way, Dave, like I talked about the baby boomers a little bit earlier, statistically speaking today, people 65 and over, retired people, for the first time ever in U.S. history, are the largest consumer demographic. Wow. They spend more money than anybody else. Historically, that was, we always talked about like the 35 to 54 was the key economic demographic. People are buying houses, starting families, sending their kids to college, buying washing machines, buying cars. Today, it's baby boomers. Wow. Baby boomers spend more money. They're 22% of consumer spending. Retired baby boomers, I should specify, 65 and over. So they're getting paid out by private equity. Private equity is rolling all these small businesses up into bigger umbrellas, right? That's why service is going down in like everything. You're paying more and the quality is lower, it seems like, right? So private equity is buying all this stuff. I worry down the line, like this ends up being a bubble, right? Right. Private equity, one guy in New York can't run every barbershop in the continental United States. It just doesn't work that way. And so the bad news, right, is like, hey, in short term, it makes all these small businesses kind of worse service for the money that you spend. I think ultimately there might be like a financial bubble in some of these private markets eventually. Now, most of us don't really invest in private markets. We don't have the ability to do that. But ultimately, it creates a ton of opportunity for entrepreneurs that basically can come in and like, hey, your barbershop is terrible now. I'm going to create a new model that's better and I'll steal all the business, right? So it used to be, hey, you just pass on the family business and your kid like ran it into the ground. Today, at least you're getting paid out by Wall Street, I guess, and they're selling it to some investor and maybe he'll lose his shirt. And then hopefully the next generation, and I think there are a ton of Gen Z people and younger millennials that are like willing to pick up the reins and be the entrepreneurs here. But it's sort of a different way to transfer wealth than ever before, right? Because institutionally, like Wall Street's very involved.
Mm-hmm. That's the fascinating aspect to me is you would like they traditionally what Wall Street provided the service of this long-term approach to investment, the slow growth on your portfolio, right? You just keep they're now proactive and they're getting into, like you said, every industry, whether it's the housing market, which I just, watched the long video this morning about, this person's theory about how BlackRock is through shell companies buying houses, right, at an elevated price, and then coming in, elevating the market for that area, and then so the people that are selling their house at the highest price get out, and they can't afford to go into another house, so they end up renting the house they just sold, right? And it's right. this twisted. So there's a lot of that's in play with, I think, these various markets and what the P&E firms are gobbling up.